Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're back in Clash Royale. Okay, after a long time. Not very long time to be honest. So you know that goblins are anyways the talk of the town. The hero goblins especially. And yeah, this buff I think still exists for the next of 6 days. Okay. So right here, right? This Undying Legion, this event literally got launched where we are typically gonna get access. Wait a second. Oh, I just got a call. So I just got a call from my dad. So I'm done with that. So here we are back in Undying Legion. So here you could get to see that yes, they're gifting us not only a lot of gold chests, but these are also giving us Evo skeletons. So you're gonna get a total of 3 skeletons by getting 200 chests by the end of this fighting. So if you do collect 200 crowns, you will get access to 3 Evo skeletons. And with this, I have a question. Which Evo should I go for? Cause in my collection, you're definitely gonna see, right? In my collection right now, I have 3 shards, and you could see there are 3 shards that right now I have 3 shards in my possession, and there are various cards that I need to collect. Okay, so you can see like 3 baby dragons. I need to collect 3 baby dragons in order to unlock the Evo baby dragon. I need 4 to unlock the Evo musketeer, 3 in order to activate the Evo wedge, 3 in order to activate the Evo firecrackers, and by the end of this I'll also need to have 3 more shards in order. I need 3 more shards to activate the Evo skeletons. So you literally get the gist, right? So I'm gonna have access to 3 Evo skeletons. I need 3 shards in order to activate the Evo skeletons, the Evo firecracker, the Evo wedge, the Evo baby dragon, and 4 shards in order to activate the Evo musketeer. So a total of like 5. Out of which 4 need 3 and 1 unit needs 4 in order to activate this thing. And if I count Dark Goblin, then I need 5 for Evo Dark Goblin, 5 for Evo Tesla, 5 for Evo Skeletons, and 5 for Evo Bombers in order to activate. Okay? So, yeah. Now, based on that, I'm thinking which Evo to even unlock. And recently, I did learn how to use bats and even freeze. So I'm pretty much using this balloon deck to dominate this era. And the reason I'm also using them is so that I could get these rewards for card masteries. Okay, and just look at this. My musketeer is level 15, so if I get 4 shards, I will be able to unlock Evo musketeer. 3 shards, I'll be able to unlock Evo Baby Dragon, who is also a level 15. Evo Firecracker, who is also a Firecracker, who is a level 14. Evo Witch, who is also a level 14. Take it. Then. My Skeleton Army is level 11. Evo Skeleton Army, my Skeleton Army is at level 11. So if I do get Evo Skeleton Army, then I guess I'm gonna divert my plan to upgrade the Skeleton Army as well. That could be the scenario, okay? And who else is left? I have a Evo Barbarian, but trust me, I don't use them much. Okay. Who else needs Evos? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, these 5. That's it. Now, if I consider Evo Dark Goblin, he'll be here by the way. The Dark Goblin is severely nerfed. So, like you have seen in the Feb patch that OH's healing has been, you guessed it right. The Evo OH's healing's been nerfed, not by a significant amount. So, people have not stopped using the OHs, and as you can see in my past, right? I'm in level 65 as of now, but I will get to level 80 and get the 4th shard. So my plan will be to get 4 shards and then decide which Evo to actually go with. And it's gonna be based on what I use, okay? So I know how to use Firecracker, I know how to use Witch, I know how to use Baby Dragon, and I also know... No, the Evo Musketeer is one unit which I really don't know how to use. But I think I will. But see, since you guys should read the Evo Musketeer, since the Evo Musketeer is nerfed significantly, so it is not usable anymore. So I mean, the turret doesn't do off like what you can say offensive damage anymore to the towers. It only does defensive damage. So as long as the Musketeer is alive, the turret has value. But the moment the turret, like the moment the Musketeer ain't defended, it's dead. The turret has absolute no value. So they could either buff the turret a little bit by increasing its range from 4.5. I mean by buffing its range from 3.5, from 5. From 3.5 to 4.0 or 4.5 at least. But again, it should be in the borderline with the tower. It must be, you could say, sneaky. What else you could do is, yeah, I mean, this guy is typically there to kill the spawns, even kill the goblins and the archers to an extent. Is there only kill the melee range units? Whilst the archers, right? The archers have a good range of 5, so the archers can still take on the terrain. So now I'm gonna be like going and checking which evos or which decks are kinda gonna be used. Okay? So I'll meet you on the other side, okay? Hey, so I'm back. So on the opposite side, so we are on the opposite side. So we are here in RoyalAPI to check some of the best decks, like the ones that are literally like dealing good damage at the good wins. And you can see here, man. If you do have hero goblins, these guys are gonna deal insane damage, okay? Because of the respawn capability, this guy is absolutely broken. You must, I mean, these guys should say should nerf these guys significantly. You could either like do is reduce, you guess it right, the flag duration from say 7 seconds to say 4 seconds or 3 seconds, only giving them a 3 second or 4 second timer for them to act, or else increase, or else if they want to keep it that way, increase the cost to spawn back. maybe by two, not even two, three elixir. Cause that's literally the damage these guys do. Three but two. I mean, cause the enemy is gonna spawn the goblins once again, right? You got like if they increase the elixir from the one elixir to two or two to three. If they increase it to two, it would compensate for the the loss of the goblins. Yeah, I mean the spawn for the goblins. Yeah, and one more extra elixir cost for giving you the freedom to choose when to spawn. You could tell it that way. So yeah, these guys are literally dealing a hell lot of damage. Okay, so this Dark Prince, Dark Goblin, Rascals, Hero Goblins. This is literally one of the most broken Evos. I've literally underestimated this guy. I literally underestimated this guy. But trust me, the suspicious bush. Hey, but trust me, I'm anyways gonna buff this guy, okay? And you can literally see by the analysis of this deck wins by 62%. The second best is this. Again, if you have the shiniest toy in the town, which is this guy, then it's obviously gonna be great. You have the balloon, you have the Evo Valkyrie, Evo Inferno Dragon. I'm absolutely loving this. Lava Hound, 56% win percentage. This, another one. You have the Evo Wizard and the Evo, not the Evo, sorry, the Hero Wizard and the Hero Goblins. Which is fantastic. I mean, come on, these are the broken heroes. These are the buff this guy's tornadoes pull radius by tornadoes damage by 25%, or the pull radius by 25%, whichever it is. Still, and these guys are still broken, and the Royal Ghost is kind of normal. This guy being the only defensive unit. And hey, it's pretty amazing to see the average elixir cost being 3.5, despite having these three 6 elixir, 4 elixir, and 5 elixir units. I can literally see these guys spawning like anything. And similarly, the Evo RG. Evo RG being. The Evo RG being an incredible broken unit as well. It's sad that I got to unlock these two, but I didn't get to unlock this guy. I don't have access to Evo RG, so which is pretty bad. Okay, so apart from that, this is also another like you can literally see these decks from the RoyalAPI.com. This is also another fantastic deck, man. Damn. I Yeah, so like in this case, I'll tell like which of my cards are pretty low level. My log and this is pretty low level, else and also this guy temporarily. I don't have access to this guy. I don't have access to the hero. And my Valkyrie and Laoloon, these guys are all pretty damn weak, else I won't be able to use them. Here it is my Goblin Heart. This guy is pretty damn weak. And so is my Lightning. Here, in this case, this could technically be a very strong. Yeah, this could be the deck I might use. My only weakest link is this guy, the Barbarian Baron. Here is my Bomb Tower, my Vines, and my Barbarian Baron, which is the weakest. I'll say, yeah. So like the cards that I've technically not upgraded, they are the ones who are literally leading these guys to win. I don't have access to the hero goblins. This guy literally changes the game. The same thing just with these guys. It's similar to this deck. just with hero goblins in the just with hero goblins. Here you get another 54% win. This is also another great one. If I unlock Skami, hey, I, I got the Skeleton King, right? I can upgrade the Skeleton King to level 13, unlock the Skami, the Evo Skami, and that's it. I'll have access to one of the greatest decks. Look at this 2.6 elixir, and with the four card cycle, you can get back to the same card after spending a minimum of 8 elixir. Damn. My only weakest point is gonna be this guy, like not locking this Kami. I need to buff this guy, I need to buff this guy. I have to buff this as well. That's it. This, and this. And also my Skami, of course, right? My only use for Skami is to basically, like, I have to deploy these two, like, significantly at the same time so that I'll be able to take advantage of dead Skamis and then spawn a graveyard. This one, no, I don't have access to this guy, the Evo Skami, and these guys are all weak. I mean, this guy is weak, this guy is weak, this guy is weak, and so is this guy, so I won't be able to use them. Hmm, I don't have access to Evo Valkyrie and this guy, so I won't be able to use them. This is also not a bad deck by any means. It's a fireball, I guess, but Mother Witch and the 2.6 ain't dead as well, which is a pretty good sign. It's just that this guy is weak. I don't have the Evo version of this card, and this guy is weak. This guy is weak. I don't have the Evo version of this card, and not the Evo version of this card. Else, the average cost to recycle back is gonna be just 6 elixir, which is absolutely nuts. So is the 2.6. Yeah, this one, provided you have the Hero Musketeers, which I don't have. Damn, like these are the top 20 decks. Nothing could be wrong with this deck. If you have the Evo Knight, get her here. If you don't, put him here. Evo here. Uh, can we like include cards? Hmm. I don't care about the towers, because everyone uses the standard towers. I want to include this guy. Include. Why not include? Yeah, why not include like some of the greatest cards in the game? Include. S- Yeah, I'm just right now kind of like selecting which cards to even put. If I put him, I guess why not put him? Hmm. I'm kind of like selecting cards. I have the Evo Furnace, Evo Hunter, I have the Evo Executioner, Evo Electro Dragon, Evo Ghost, Evo Inferno Dragon. I'm not including the mirror because the mirror is you guessed it right. A pretty like I would say I'm not saying it to use this card, like I don't know how to use mirror properly, so hence I'm not using mirror, right? How can I forget these guys? Include. Absolutely. Include this guy. Include the rage. Tornado. How can I forget the units here? Where is the freeze? Okay. I know how to use them, that's why I'm just including them. Okay. I don't know how to use Expo. Sorry. I could include Elixir Collector. So let's see. Apply. That's it here. I don't think I'm missing. Oh, that's Evo Skeleton Battle. I forgot to include. Damn, I would have missed it. I don't have the Evo recruits. I'm not evil. I don't have this Kami piglets. Now apply filters. Let's see. Oh, okay. I've applied the filters. Hey, this could be a really good deck. Nice. So I applied the filters. Now it's showing me the decks which have the high percentage of winning. Hey, this is a deck I haven't thought for a while. Absolutely fantastic. Hey, this is popular. This is a very basic deck. It's easy to level up. Yeah, the Alexa recycle cost is more than 12, but it's pretty damn fantastic. Hey, this is also a pretty damn fantastic deck. 51% wins. Oh boy, this is a 9 elixir cost. And what could go wrong, but yeah. Your chance of losing are kinda quite high, cause have a look at the cards. They're pretty damn weak, man. If there's a minion horde, I won't be able to take them off. The golem. Nah, man. These all are weaklings. This is one day I technically kinda like. Why include, wait. If I have the evolved versions, why do you even need Scam? Why do you need why do you need the non-evolved ones, right? So which are the evolved cards that I put here? Executioner. So why put normal executioner into the mix? Evo executioner, Evo hunter, Evo furnace. Where's the furnace? Yeah, I mean why put them? Why? So the electro dragon and even the inferno dragon. Why put them as, yeah, I mean just put them as non-evils. Let's just reapply all the filters once again. This is still fantastic, I mean. Oh, the Brit spam deck, right? I just have to only upgrade the P.E.K.K.A. That's all. Can I put any clauses that it should be less than? No, no, man. I wish there was like this little filters that we can say the Alexa, the average Alexa cost should be less than 5.0, 4.5, and even the 4 card cycle should be less than say 10. It'd be fantastic for sure. Yeah, so I guess like these are the decks which are gonna be compatible. But I don't mind having the non-evos as well. There was like certain decks which I kind of loved, but yeah. Oh, this is 87%, but I guess yeah, it should also show like which trophy range they're using. Yeah, 12,000. This is kind of makes sense. 4,000. No, no, no. This is kind of useful. 11,000. Not bad. Uh, hmm. All right, I can. That's great. That's great. That's great. Normal battle. Date range. Okay, this is absolutely fantastic. Let's put in the rank because I'm in the ranked only, right? Ladder. Wait, let us narrow it down. 10k. Yeah, 10k. Apply. Hmm. So here we can see like certain decks which are literally like popping that toe in my areas. So yeah, the Brit spam deck. These types of decks are literally working well, huh? This one is going pretty nice. So you can see like the decks here showing 60%, 70%, 66. So I think I'll go and try these decks in some other day. Meanwhile, like, let us go and say watch. Uh, let's go and watch some videos from Vlaxx, right? About the top 20 best decks from Vlaxx, okay?
At number 20, we have this Hyper Bait deck. This deck features the new Hero Goblin. And well, they are completely broken. This is why you'll see them in most of the decks in this video. Now, I know most of you might not have them unlocked, but don't worry, those decks will still work fine even if you don't have Hero Goblins. Anyways, back to the deck. As you might have noticed, there are no spells in this deck. But who needs spells when you can keep applying pressure continuously? The Wall Breakers and Hero Goblins force your opponent into a negative elixir trade. I mean, there are literally 0 good trades against the Hero Goblins. Defending against Princess at Bridge and Goblin Barrels continuously is really frustrating. Your opponent is bound to break at some point, and that's how you win with this deck. It gets a very high score on offense and is quite an easy deck to upgrade. At number 19, we have this Giant Sparky deck. Surprisingly, the Hero Giant dodged a nerf in the last balance changes, therefore he still remains really strong. On the other hand, Sparky is in a really good spot right now. There aren't many direct counters to Sparky in the meta. A Giant Sparky mini P.E.K.K.A. combo is scary, and that's your main offensive push. Use the Tornado to group enemy troops together into the Wizard's or Sparky's attack. Swarms can distract your Sparky, so always keep your spells ready during offense. This deck can 3-crown your opponent in a single push, and therefore you need to play a bit more aggressively with this deck. It gets a perfect score on offense, but defending can be a bit tricky with this deck. At number 18, we have Minor Rocket Cycle. This deck finished in the top 10 last season, but this month, it's gotten even stronger. The hero goblins are really overpowered. They further increase the offensive and defensive potential of this deck. Keep spamming miners on the opponent's tower while defending efficiently. Tesla, Dark Prince, and Royal Delivery are your main defensive units. The Royal Delivery in particular can be really game-changing in a lot of matchups. Only start rocket cycling in double and triple elixir when you know you can cheaply defend your opponent's push. This deck is quite easy to upgrade, but it's also very high skill. If you think you're a high skill player who can play a deck like this, then hit it a few years ago, but now it's back due to the hit spam deck. This deck used to be dominant a few years ago, but now it's back due to the Hero Ice Golem. The card is just brain dead. There's literally no proper way to defend a Hero Ice Golem plus Ram Rider push. The Magic Archer further makes defending tricky for your opponent. They always need to worry about the Magic Archer on the bridge, due to which they can't place their troops properly. Use the evolved Lumberjack in front of the Ram Rider. This way, when he dies, you have a free raid spell for your offensive push. Use the Bandit to bait out counters to your Ram Rider. Overall, this deck gets a perfect score on offense, but it's very hard to upgrade. At number 16, we have this Three Musketeers Piggies deck. Now, the Three Musketeers did get a nerf in the last balance changes, but the nerf doesn't seem to have any effect. They are still strong, and now combined with the evolved Royal Ghost and evolved Royal Hogs, the offense is just scary. And yeah, don't forget the annoying Hero Goblins. This deck costs only 3.4 elixir, despite having the Three Musketeers. The Hero Ice Golem plus Piggies push is always guaranteed to get some damage. Use a Royal Ghost and Hero Goblins to bait out awkward responses from your opponent and ruin their cycle. The minions provide cheap but reliable air and ground defense. This deck gets a high score on offense and is also very free-to-play friendly. At number 15, we have 2.6 Hog Cycle. This time, the deck features the Fire Spirit instead of the Ice Spirit. The change is necessary because the Fire Spirit is a good counter to the Hero Goblins. The Hero Ice Golem plus Hog Rider push is one of the most annoying combos in Clash Royale. It always somehow sneaks in a few hits regardless of how your opponent tries to defend. The Hero Musketeer did get nerfed quite hard, but well, she's still at least better than the regular Musketeer. The evolved Cannon and Skeletons provide a stable defense. As usual, your goal with this deck is to cycle fast and get back to your Hog Rider before your opponent can get back to their counters. This deck receives a very well-balanced score in all aspects. At number 14, we have P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. This deck is making a comeback as P.E.K.K.A. just got one of the biggest buffs we've seen in a while. The P.E.K.K.A. evolution is getting a damage healed per kill buff, which will greatly make her survive longer on the field. This deck is played quite aggressively. Use your Bandit and Royal Ghost to bait out counters to your Battle Ram. The Hero Goblins can be used to generate positive elixir trades on both offense and defense. You have the Mother Witch and minions for air defense, but if you like, you can also replace the Mother Witch with the Electro Wizard. Build a big P.E.K.K.A. plus Battle Ram push, and then apply pressure using the Bandit or Royal Ghost in the opposite lane. That type of offense will make your opponent crumble under all the pressure. Overall, this deck takes quite some skill to play, but it gets a good score on both offense and defense. At number 13, we have Goblin Drill Nado Cycle. Who would have thought that we'll see a meta where the evolved Goblin Drill is actually viable? But guess what? It's not just viable, it's become broken after the recent buff. This deck is extremely fast and relies on continuously spamming drills on the enemy's tower. When your opponent tries to defend the drill with any card, you use your Magic Archer on the bridge to snipe it as well as the tower. The Hero Knight also synergizes really well with the drill, as it can retarget enemy units trying to counter the drill. Use the Goblin Demolisher and Bomb Tower to effectively defend against enemy pushes. Overall, this deck gets a good score in every category. At number 12, we have Mega Knight Bridge Spam. This deck is already quite strong at the moment, and when the Hero Mega Minion is released, it's gonna be overpowered. The Hero Wizard got a big buff. He's now really broken on both offense and defense. The evolved Mega Knight destroys any kind of beatdown pushes. The Royal Ghost and Bandit can be used to apply pressure and gain positive elixir trades. Your ideal push with this deck is a Ram Rider behind a Mega Knight, combined with a Rage spell. This deck is highly aggressive, therefore it gets a perfect score on offense. At number 11, we have this Minor Balloon Cycle deck. This deck is honestly so underrated. It has the perfect tools to beat any deck in the meta, yet I hardly see players using it. The Hero Ice Golem synergizes perfectly with the balloon. Its ability allows the balloon to always get a hit or two on the tower. Use the Miner to snipe backline troops trying to counter your balloon. Even a single hit from the balloon is devastating, and that should be your goal for every push. The evolved Inferno Dragon and evolved Goblin Cage completely destroy beatdown decks. When the Hero Mega Minion drops, this deck is gonna be even better. You can literally just use the Hero Mega Minion to instantly wipe out any counters to the balloon. The synergy between the cards of this deck is insane, and therefore it gets a high score in every category. At number 10, we have the Royal Hogs Earthquake Cycle. This deck is a classic, and now it's been upgraded because of the addition of Hero Goblins. You need to cycle back as quickly as possible to your evolved Royal Hogs because they are your game-winning push. They're incredibly difficult to counter and always force your opponent to overcommit. The Archer Queen is really valuable on both offense and defense. Use her ability to get positive elixir trades whenever you can. The Cannon and Royal Delivery form the perfect defense. You can also use a split lane push using your Royal Hogs and Hero Goblins, which will be quite tricky to defend. Overall, this deck gets an excellent score in all categories. At number 9, we have Minor Wall Breakers. This is a very high skill deck, but if you master it, it becomes really hard to stop. The Minor plus Wall Breakers push guarantees positive elixir trades. The Hero Goblins can be used to bait out counters to your Wall Breakers. If your Hero Goblins reach the enemy tower, make sure to always use their ability when they die, because most of the time your opponent will have to respond with a troop right in front of their tower. Once that happens, use the Magic Archer on the bridge to get insane damage. Use the Knight and Cannon to defend against enemy pushes. This deck doesn't have a big spell, so your defense really needs to be on point. Overall, this deck gets a high score on offense, but it really needs skill to master. At number 8, we have Mortar Skelly Barrel Bait. As if this deck wasn't annoying enough already, the Hero Goblins have made it incredibly difficult to beat. The defense of this deck is really hard to break because of the Hero Knight plus Mortar plus Dart Goblin combo. This combo can basically defend any push in the game. Use your Hero Goblins, Dart Goblin, and minions to bait out the enemy's small spells. Once those spells are out of their cycle, hit them with a Skeleton Barrel push. They'll be forced into a negative elixir trade, as the evolved Skeleton Barrel is a big threat. If left unchecked, it can basically take out the tower on its own. This deck gets a perfect score on defense and is also very good for free-to-play players. At number 7, we have Hog Exonado. The introduction of the Hero Goblins meant that Hog Exonado was definitely gonna be in the meta. It's the one deck that has constantly used goblins for many years. Now with the Hero Goblins, the offense of this deck has become even better. You can now use the Hero Goblins to apply additional pressure besides your Hog Rider. The evolved Valkyrie and evolved Executioner are the perfect defensive combo. Use them with Tornado and there is no push in the game that can survive. Once you've done enough damage on the enemy tower, you can start rocket cycling in double and triple elixir. This deck gets a good score in all aspects, and it's a must upgrade deck if you're free to play. At number 6, we have this super annoying Skeleton Barrel deck. This is currently one of the most hated decks in Clash Royale, and for good reason. I mean, look at the cards of this deck. Suspicious Bush, Evolved Skeleton Barrel, Hero Goblins, Dart Goblin, and Evolved Skeleton Army. Every single one of those cards is really annoying. They all act as spell bait. If your opponent uses their small spell on any one of them, the others will wreck them. When you have the Skeleton Barrel or the Skeleton Army on the field, make sure to pair them with the Skeleton King's ability. The Mother Witch is a great addition to this deck because she counters all the swarms in this meta. Use your vines to immobilize enemy defense right when your barrel or bush pops. This deck gets a perfect score on offense, and it's not that
This is the deck I guess I'll plan on building as well, right?
difficult to play as well. At number 5, we have Goblin Drill Poison Cycle. This is an even more annoying drill deck than the previous one I shared in the video. That's because it features the Hero Goblins, who serve as spell bait. Your opponent can't really defend both Hero Goblins and the Goblin Drill one after another if they waste their spells. The Goblin Demolisher further makes your push annoying to stop. To stop your Goblin Drill, the opponent will have to place a troop near their tower. But if you pair the Goblin Drill with a Demolisher, then he can deal splash damage on the enemy tower and their defending troop together. For defense, you have the perfect combo of the Knight plus Evolved Tesla. Therefore, this deck gets a high score in all aspects. At number 4, we have Lava Loon. This is the perfect meta for Lava Loon. Everyone is using ground swarms. No one's really running proper air counters, which makes defending Lava Loon basically impossible. Pair your balloon with a Lava Hound in front and use your Void and arrows to wipe out any defending troops. While your opponent is busy defending this push, you can apply some sneaky pressure in the opposite lane using your Hero Goblins. The evolved Valkyrie and evolved Inferno Dragon can wipe out beatdown pushes quickly and also counter swarms effectively. This deck gets a perfect score on offense, and it's the easiest deck to play in this list. At number 3, we have Royal Giant Cycle. To be honest, I don't remember the last time this deck was out of the meta. The synergy between its cards is what makes this deck always viable. This season, this deck literally just replaced skeletons with Hero Goblins and is now more broken than ever. You don't even need 2 heroes to make this deck work. Just deploy the Royal Giant on the bridge, use the Fisherman to pull away defending troops, and use the Hunter to destroy them. If your opponent is running a building, nuke it out with a Fireball. This deck gets a perfect score in almost every category, but it's a very high-skilled deck. At number 2, we have Royal Hogs Lightning. This deck features 4 broken cards: Evolved Royal Hogs, Evolved Royal Ghost, Hero Wizard, and of course, the Hero Goblins. The offense of this deck is just impossible to stop. What are you even supposed to do against Royal Hogs plus Lightning? Whatever your opponent drops to counter them, Lightning destroys it. The Hero Wizard's Tornado can further annoy your opponent on both offense and defense. Use the Evolved Royal Ghost to force out your enemy's counters to your Royal Hogs. The Goblin Heart and Wizard form a brick wall defense. Overall, this deck is rated highly in all categories. At number 1, as the best deck currently,
This one, yeah, so you must have seen my Rascals at level 30. I'm thinking of upgrading to level, say, 14 in this case. I mean, making this level 14, right? I'll be able to use this part of the deck.
in Clash Royale, we have this toxic hyper bait.
This is hyperweight, man. Like, look at this. You got the Evo Goblins, man. Imagine getting this. Evo Goblins. Hero Goblins. This deck is gonna be absolutely obnoxious, man. My only weakling is gonna be the Goblins. Say, the moment that timer runs out, That's it. I mean, this is gonna be significantly nerfed, you could say. It won't. These goblins won't be not damn threatening, and my log is also at level 12, which is also significantly worse. This is at level 13. This I will try to upgrade this to level 14. My ghost I'll try to push it to level 14 as well. Right? Man, this deck is pretty ideal for my account as well.
Deck. Every troop in this deck acts as a spell bait. This deck will constantly force you into negative elixir trades and slowly keep chipping at your tower until you break your device. The hero goblins have really made this deck unbeatable. It's clear that they're the most broken hero in the game. But what about the other heroes? To check out the heroes tier list for this month.
Yeah, man. I'll give this guy a big like. Okay. I also include this video in the description, so you guys can go and check it out as well. Now let us go from the best decks to ranking the heroes, because I've asked a question, right? Like, which hero should I evolve? So this video is gonna be answering all
We have
that.
the Mighty Miner. The Mighty Miner is the most underwhelming champion in Clash Royale right now, and that's why he's sitting at the bottom of this ranking. In the current meta, he's pretty useless in most matchups. He does good against tanks, but they're not in the meta. The only tank that's overpowered right now is the Hero Giant, and guess what? His ability literally counters the Mighty Miner. Against swarm decks like Graveyard, Mortar, or even Logbait, the Mighty Miner provides no value at all. Therefore, the Mighty Miner really needs a big buff soon, because this meta is not supporting him. At number 15, we have the Hero Musketeer. She's received a ton of nerfs in the last 2 months, and those nerfs have made her unusable. Her ability is no longer a threat. It costs a whopping 3 elixir, and most of the time, the turret gets taken out pretty quickly. Now, the turret's range is also nerfed in the latest set of balance changes. This is gonna further kill the Hero Musketeer. Her evolved version seems much more reliable at the moment. Currently, the Hero Musketeer has a bad 4% use rate, with only a 49% win rate. For hero cards, these are horrible numbers. Outside 2.6 Hog Cycle and Minor Balloon Cycle, I don't see her being used in any other decks after she gets nerfed again. At number 14, we have the Little Prince. The recent buff he got had absolutely no impact on him at all. There is only one Graveyard deck that is using the Little Prince at the moment, but the Graveyard is getting nerfed. So does this mean that there won't be any place for the Little Prince in the meta? Well, probably, because choosing the Little Prince over cards like Mega Minion, Dot Goblin, Regular Musketeer, or even the Witch is a very risky move. The Little Prince is really vulnerable to spells like Fireball and Poison. Considering these are 2 most popular big spells in Clash Royale, it's going to be hard to have any success with the Little Prince. His Guardian is also no longer threatening, and she too dies rather quickly. The Little Prince has a 1% use rate, which is the worst out of all the champions in the game. He needs another buff soon, else he'll remain a dead card. If you agree with me that the Little Prince needs a buff, then we have the Goblinstein. And honestly, this card doesn't survive in the current meta. Look at what's popular right now. Graveyard, 3 Musketeers, Royal Hogs, Royal Giant, and the Goblinstein struggles against all of them. Most of the time, the Doctor's ability barely gets any value, but the real issue is the cost. At 5 elixir, you expect the card to always provide some value. However, Goblinstein rarely delivers it, which makes using him feel risky and often wasteful. The Goblinstein can be strong in certain situations if your opponent's
Changing him to 4 elixir would absolutely change the way you might even use him. Just like Clash Royale did change the Goblin Hut from 5 elixir to 4 elixir, and also changed the way you use him. Similarly, and you just went and you just saw, right, like how effective is Goblin Hut at 4 elixir as opposed to 5 elixir. Similarly, they should do with Goblinstein as well.
Acts a bunch of troops perfectly between the Doctor and the monster, the ability can completely wipe everything out. But that situation almost never happens anymore. Players are smarter now. They space out their units. Right now, the card sits at a 3% use rate with a bad 48% win rate. You might still see it in a few niche Graveyard decks, but that's about it. At number 12, we have the Monk. So the Monk is in a pretty interesting spot. The meta definitely doesn't support him. Swarms, air troops, and especially the Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A, they all counter him hard. He also does terribly against popular win conditions like Graveyard and Royal Hogs, but there's one archetype where the Monk really shines, and that's the Royal Giant cycle. This deck's strategy continues to use the Monk despite the card being trash. The Monk protects the Royal Giant from all the projectiles, therefore the synergy between these 2 cards is insane. A major reason why Royal Giant decks continue to use the Monk can also be that no other heroes or champions really synergize with the Royal Giant. So in order to not waste a hero slot, players are forced to use the Monk. But regardless, Monk continues to thrive in Royal Giant decks while sucking at everything else. At number 11, we have the Skeleton King. He's in a much better state than before. Although his ability is usually not that useful, he still still continues to be a reliable tank for hyperbait decks. Just like the Monk found his place in Royal Giant Cycle, the Skeleton King is a staple in bait decks, which carry no big spells. He synergizes really well with the Evolved Skeleton Barrel, Evolved Skeleton Army, and the Suspicious Bush. These swarm cards complement the Skeleton King's ability. You use his ability to summon a big wave of skeletons and bait out the opponent's small spells in response. This allows you to apply pressure with your Skeleton Barrel and Suspicious Bush. Outside hyperbait, the Skeleton King is pretty useless. He also can't defend many cards in a 1v1. This makes him a really weak champion unless his ability is fully charged. At number 10, we have the Boss Bandit. In the current meta, she feels noticeably weaker compared to the other champions. Yes, she's still an excellent punish card, but this meta is packed with fast cycle decks and swarms, and that's exactly where the Boss Bandit starts to struggle. Mortar, Royal Giant, and 3 Musketeers all give her a hard time. On top of that, siege decks like Mortar and Expo naturally counter her playstyle, making it difficult for her to find consistent value. Casual players may find it difficult to counter her unpredictable dashes, but experienced players can deal with her fairly easily. That's why the Boss Bandit is in such a strange spot right now. She shines the most in Brid Spam, but outside of Brid Spam, she simply doesn't fit in any other archetype. Because of that, her use rate sits at just 1% with a 50% win rate. At this rate, the Boss Bandit might fade into irrelevance. At number 9, we have the Hero Wizard. A lot of pro players have expressed that the Hero Wizard feels too weak. His Tornado pull strength wasn't enough, therefore he was getting taken out pretty easily. So, in order to make the Hero Wizard viable, Supercell has buffed his Tornado strength this season. Now, how impactful the buff will be remains to be seen, but I expect the Hero Wizard to be strong in Royal Giant and Royal Hogs decks. Since other ranged cards like Hero Musketeer and Evolved Witch are getting nerfed as well, this might finally be the season where we get to see how strong the Hero Wizard really is. His current stats are not that good though. He has a 3% use rate with only a 49% win rate, but I expect those stats to get better this season. At number 8, we have the Archer Queen. Honestly, she's one of the most dependable champions in the entire game. The moment you place her down, she becomes a problem your opponent has to deal with immediately. Her damage is insanely high, but her real strength is her ability. Every time you press that ability button, she guarantees you insane value. She can shut down massive pushes all by herself and suddenly pull you way ahead in Elixir. The only instant answer to her is lightning, and because there are so few direct counters, you can almost always trust the Archer Queen to carry games for you. She's dangerous on defense, but she's just as scary on offense. You can pop her ability at any moment and delete whatever troops your opponent drops. And if she ever locks onto the tower while invisible, that's basically tower down. Stat-wise, the Archer Queen is still in a healthy spot. She sits at around a 4% use rate with a 50% win rate, which is solid for a champion. She's used with Royal Hogs Earthquake, which is one of the best decks in Clash Royale. Overall, if you want a champion that balances offense and defense flawlessly, the Archer Queen is an elite choice. At number 7, we have the Golden Knight. From being considered the worst champion in the game to suddenly becoming one of the strongest, the Golden Knight's comeback feels unreal. The Golden Knight is a serious offensive threat. The stats back it up too. Around an 8% use rate with a 50% win rate is no joke for a champion.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is pretty balanced.
What makes him so dangerous is how much raw power he brings for just 4 elixir. His attack speed is crazy, his damage adds up fast, and in straight 1v1 situations, he can beat most cards in the game. But the real reason he's terrifying is his dash. It's unpredictable, hard to defend against, and incredibly punishing if your opponent misplaces even one troop. If you ever line up a dash toward the tower, you can steal massive damage out of nowhere. Despite his cooldown getting nerfed from 8 seconds to 12 seconds, it still feels overpowered. Another big reason the Golden Knight is thriving right now is the meta itself. Swarm cards are everywhere, and his dash absolutely deletes them. Therefore, he fits perfectly in so many archetypes. 3 Musketeers, Brid Spam, Graveyard Freeze, P.E.K.K.A., Royal Hogs, he works in every single one of them. Right now, the meta clearly favors him, and unless something changes, the Golden Knight is gonna stay dominant for a long time. At number 6, we have the hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's getting nerfed this season, but once again, Supercell has seemed to miss the mark. Supercell is nerfing the damage healed by the Mini P.E.K.K.A. But the issue is not her healed damage. The problem with the hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. is how fast it can level up, requiring only a few hits. Unless this ability gets nerfed, the hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. will remain dominant in the meta. However, this season we're also getting the regular Mini P.E.K.K.A. nerf, which also impacts the hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. Its hit points are getting reduced, which means it'll be much easier to counter, but I think the hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. will still remain the #1 tank killer in the meta unless the hero goblins keep it in check. At number 5, we have the hero Knight. The hero Knight is absurdly versatile. The regular Knight has always been the most reliable mini tank in Clash Royale, cheap, tanky, and effective in every meta. However, the hero version takes that reliability and pushes it to a completely new level. You now see him in almost every archetype in the game. Cycle decks, control decks, beatdown decks, even siege. His ability to redirect damage is what makes him so broken. Because of this, his stats are ridiculous. A 19% use rate with a 50% win rate is insane for a hero. And honestly, even those numbers don't fully show how impactful he is in real games. He fits into almost any deck you can think of. Despite his shield hit points getting nerfed this season, I don't see why players would stop using the Hero Knight. At number 4, we have the Hero Giant. Okay, so how on earth is this card getting away without a huge... The Hero Giant. Okay, so how on earth is this card getting away without a huge nerf in the balance changes? 3% reduction in hit points. That's literally the nerf Supercell gave him. What is a 3% hit points reduction going to do when he's literally throwing troops across the arena? How are you even supposed to counter this tank? Giant decks are everywhere. Giant Graveyard Giant, Beatdown Giant, Sparky, and even Giant Balloon. The amount of toxic decks that have become relevant because of this hero is absurd. His ability to throw troops across the arena, even flying troops, needs to be changed right away. I don't know about you guys, but if this ability is not going to get nerfed in the next balance changes, I'm going to crash out for real. At number 3, we have the Hero Ice Golem. Okay, seriously, who's even designing these card concepts? The Hero Ice Golem is shaping up to be one of the most overpowered defensive cards Clash Royale has ever seen. It's become clear that this card completely changes how both offense and defense work in the game. The biggest reason the Hero Ice Golem feels unfair is his ability. For just 2 elixir, he can activate a massive snowstorm that damages enemies, slows them down, and then fully freezes them. That alone would already be strong. However, the most ridiculous part is that the ability still activates even if the Ice Golem dies or falls off the map. In other words, once you press the ability, the value is guaranteed. There is no way for the opponent to stop it. While the ability was clearly designed with defense in mind, it becomes even more oppressive on offense. Placing the Hero Ice Golem in front of any pushing troop creates an almost unstoppable situation. The slowdown effect, followed by pushing troop, is even more oppressive on offense. Placing the Hero Ice Golem in front of...
So that your aim, right, you won't miss a target aim. Such as this one. Hey, this is pretty nice.
Any pushing troop creates an almost unstoppable situation. The slowdown effect, followed by the freeze, allows your support troops or win condition to deal free damage, while the opponent is helpless. The Hero Ice Golem needs a serious ability rework. At number 2, we have the Hero Mega Minion. First of all, I'm really happy that the Mega Minion is getting a hero version. The card number 2, we have the Hero Mega Minion. First of all, I'm really happy that the Mega Minion is getting a hero. We have the Hero Mega Minion. First of all,
Oh, it targets the firecracker. That's nice.
Really happy that the Mega Minion is getting a hero version. The card is really underrated, and I'm happy more people will...
Wait. He's right on the bridge and he chose to attack you. Guess you're right. I
appreciate it now, but let's be real. Its warp ability is ridiculous. People will appreciate it now, but let's be real.
The warp ability cost is 2 elixir cost.
Its warp ability is ridiculous. His ability allows him to teleport to the lowest hit points troop.
Oh, it teleports him to the lowest hit point troop.
Regardless where it's placed in the...
Regardless where it's placed in the arena. Well, this at least needs a nerf, like at least a significant nerf, like... I would imagine a princess on your King Tower side. Man, actually go towards the King Tower, kill the princess, and then activate the King Tower.
Arena. This is a really game-breaking ability because now you'll have to think twice even for playing cards in the back. For just 2 elixir, this ability is just unfair. I mean, whoever thought that teleportation stuff is cool for a hero probably doesn't play the game, because how can you even release such a card? At number 1, we have the Hero Goblins. Here, let me send some goblins to add to your tower. Oh, wait, you counted them? No problem, let me spawn 4 more out of nowhere. There you go. Good luck getting a positive elixir trade. Okay, this whole concept literally sounds so dumb. The Hero Goblins are game-breaking, and I'm fully convinced they're going to get an emergency nerf soon. If you can win against Hero Goblins in this meta, it's a clear sign you're a good player. But you know what? There are 23...
It's very Lord, man. Damn, the Hero Goblins is pretty damn nice. Oh, this is ranking 16 heroes. Okay, fine. We ranked all the heroes in this case, like which heroes are good or which heroes are bad, right? That's pretty nice, to be honest. Now let's go for the Evos, right? The 39 Evos as of February 2026. This is the question I've been hunting. So let's go and check like which of the 5 Evos that I have should I actually upgrade.
At number 39, we have the Goblin Giant evolution. And bro, I'm not
This
even
is
kidding,
trash.
this card is dead. It feels like it was literally deleted from Clash Royale. A few months ago, Supercell hit this thing with so many nerfs, it genuinely forgot how to exist. You never see it anymore. And the funniest part, even the normal Goblin Giant is terrible now. So if the base card is struggling to survive, what chance does its evolution even have? It's slow and gets hard countered by literally everything. Honestly, if you lose to this evolution in 2026, you might need to uninstall the game for emotional recovery. At number 38, we have the Dart Goblin evolution. Earlier, the poison clouds from the Dart Goblin's attack used to deal
What?
insane chip damage. Earlier, emotional recovery. At number 38, we have the Dart Goblin
How did
evolution.
you put Dark Goblin here?
Earlier, the poison cloud from the Dart Goblin's attack used to deal insane chip damage, but after the poison duration got shortened, the evolution basically lost its identity. Now, the poison disappears before it can even do anything, and because of that, even baked decks prefer using the normal Dart before it can even do anything, and because of that, even baked decks prefer using the normal Dart Goblin. And if your evolution isn't being used in its best archetype, no, the card is terrible. At number 37, we have the Knight evolution, and this one is honestly just unlucky, because not long ago, this was literally one of the safest evolutions in the entire game. You could use it in any deck and it would work. But then Supercell dropped the Hero Knight, and yeah, that was basically game over. The evolution itself is still good, there's nothing wrong with it, but when there is a stronger hero version available, players are obviously going to switch. The Knight evolution didn't get worse, it just got replaced. At number 36, we have the Ice Spirit evolution. When Supercell nerfed the freeze duration of the normal Ice Spirit, they basically double nerfed the evolution because it freezes twice, and now it just feels underwhelming. The defensive value dropped massively. Recently, pro players have been asking for a buff to the Ice Spirit. I also think it deserves a big buff, and if you agree with us too, then hit that line is just this. Next, at number 35, we have the Hunter evolution, and this one is just disappointing. First of
Wait, how?
all, it's only used with Royal Giant decks, and because you can only have 2 Evo slots, they are already occupied by the evolved Royal Giants and the evolved Royal Ghost, both of which are broken. There's no chance any player would even consider using the Hunter evolution over those two. The evolved Hunter lost his permanent immobilizing effect, which was literally the whole reason this card existed, and now it's just trash. At number 34, we have the Bats evolution, and
Yeah, without her, without that immobilize, the hunter is kind of useless, but to prevent P.E.K.K.A from hitting it. But you can still use the ordinary hunter to take out all the mid health units, which is still pretty fantastic considering the cost.
right now they're getting bullied by the meta. The biggest problem is competition. Minions are just better in almost every situation, and now, with a hero mega minion in the game, there is hardly any need for evolved bats in any deck. Apart from that, the meta is filled with counters like Zap, Arrows, and Snowball. Basically, everything one-shots these bats instantly. At number 33, we have the Lumberjack evolution. The meta is full of swarms, and therefore the evolved Lumberjack gets countered really easily. You'll still see it in some giant deck, sure, but outside of that, it's basically unusable, and if an evolution only works in one very specific deck, that's never a good sign. At number 32, we have the Electro Dragon evolution. It's literally the most
How? How is Electro Dragon bad? It's so good.
coin flip evolution in the entire game. If your opponent is running beatdown and doesn't have lightning, congratulations, you basically win. This thing will chain stun their entire push and make them question life decisions, but against literally any other archetype, it struggles so badly. Cycle decks bully it.
Yep. I mean, if there's no counter to the Evo Dragons, that's it. Evo Electric Dragons, and that's it. It's done.
And because it's so slow, you rarely get consistent value. Less than 1% usage rate,
Oh, then I pretty much fall into that.
49% win rate,
Hey, Evo Baby Dragon needs, I don't know. It's an infinite shading moment that made its win rate pretty damn high in comparison to normal Electro Dragons.
those stats are just horrible. At number 31, we have the Royal Recruits evolution. And honestly, I don't think anyone is crying about this one being bad. The Recruits just cannot survive in this meta. There are way too many hard counters flying around. Splash damages everywhere, spells destroy them. The stats are brutal too. 1% usage rate. That's basically Clash Royale politely telling you to stop using this card. And let's be honest, nobody likes defending Royal Recruits anyway, so if this card stays with
I love Royal Recruits. I'm sorry, but I love Royal Recruits, man. I would love to have the Evos.
week, the community is probably celebrating. At number 30, we have the Wizard evolution. Well, this Evo is going to drop even further in this list next time because guess what? The Hero Wizard just got a huge buff and is extremely strong now. So while the evolution itself isn't weak, it has become irrelevant purely because the Hero Wizard exists. At number 20,
That's Sword.
9, we have the Goblin Barrel evolution, and man, this card has fallen off hard in a meta full of log, arrows, barbarian
Yo, my only reason to buff or upgrade the Goblin Barrel was for this. And you say that this being nerfed, and this is being nerfed? Damn.
barrel. This card is constantly fighting uphill. Yes, if your opponent messes up, you still get massive damage, but good players rarely mess up. And most of the time, you're spending 3 elixir to watch your goblins disappear instantly. Log bait is extremely strong in this meta, but that's because of the hero goblins. The Goblin Barrel evolution remains really bad, and well,
But don't worry, I would love to have hero goblins, and if I do get the hero goblins, I will think about upgrading the goblins. But guess what? When something is broken, wait for the next patch. They're gonna definitely nerf it down.
happy that it's that way. I honestly hate this card and the whole brain-dead log bait archetype. Coming in at number 28, we have the Bomber evolution. This card was relevant for a while in Giant
Oh, bomb evolution.
decks, but as the meta evolved last season, it became more and more unreliable. Spells countered it pretty hard, which is why Giant players stopped using it. Now it sits at a 2% use rate, and is one of the worst 2 elixir cards in the game. At number 27, we have the Goblin Cage evolution. This is one of those evolutions that feels super reliable, but never broken. Against tanks like Golem or Mega Knight, it works really well. The cage soaks damage, the brawler creates counter-push pressure, everything feels smooth, but against air decks or fast cycle decks, it honestly doesn't provide much extra value over the normal cage. At number 26, we have the Mortar evolution. While it is surely one of the most reliable evolutions in Clash Royale, it's facing a rough time right now. Mortar decks are heavily supported by the Hero Knight and Hero Musketeer. Now, with those 2 cards nerfed hard, Mortar is no longer as dominant as it was a while back. Sliding into number 25, Skeletons evolution. They're a good evolution to use, but only if your deck doesn't have any other good Evo options. Otherwise, they feel weak compared to other Evos, especially with the hero goblins being so broken right now. It makes no sense to have both goblins and skeletons in the same deck. At number 24, we have the Musketeer evolution. She's definitely a pretty high skill evolution.
Okay.
So far, the hero Musketeer has been stealing her place in many. She's definitely a pretty high skill evolution. So
Straight line, but still. Even though, okay, still taking
far, the hero Musketeer has been stealing her place in many decks, but now that the hero Musketeer is getting heavily nerfed, we might finally see the evolved Musketeer replacing her in decks like Balloon, 2.6 Hog Cycle, and Giant Beatdown. At number 23,
So hero, the Evo Musketeer is at 24, okay?
we have the Mega Knight evolution. This evolution really feels worse than a normal Mega Knight. Yes, it still destroys beatdown decks, but it struggles badly against air decks, control decks, and fast cycle decks. And when a card feels this inconsistent, pros just don't recommend using it. At number 22, we have the Firecracker evolution.
Firecracker Evo at 22.
This is one of the most deck-loaded evolutions ever. She's basically used only in Hog Rider decks. Inside that archetype, she is insanely annoying. Constant chip damage, knockback, splash value. She drives opponents crazy. But outside Hog decks, she's almost never seen. Arrows still destroy her instantly, and because she relies so heavily on one archetype, she just can't climb higher in these rankings. At number 21, we have the Barbarians evolution. The evolved Barbarians are finally back in the meta.
Wait, what? Barbarians are back?
Thanks to Lava Loon, the evolved Barbarians did extremely well against Royal Giant, Royal Hogs, and Graveyard decks in the last meta. So, does that mean that they are the #1 choice for the ground defense in Lava Loon? Well,
Absolutely
no,
not.
because there is another evolution that's far better than them, but we'll talk about that other Evo later when we move to the top 10 in our list. Finally, at number 20, we have the P.E.K.K.A. evolution. After a long phase where she felt literally worthless, Supercell finally decided to give a much-needed buff to the evolved P.E.K.K.A. Her heal per kill was buffed, and I think she genuinely feels much stronger now. She's become a lot harder to kill because of this. The only reason she's not higher in this list is that hero goblins exist in the game, and that card is just a nightmare for P.E.K.K.A. At number 19, we have the Witch evolution.
The Witch evolution level 19. So Witch is here, Musketeer is 24, this guy is 22, the Firecracker is 22, the Witch is 19.
It's easily one of the most frustrating cards to face right now. The card performs well against almost every archetype in the game. The skeleton spawn pressure combined with healing makes her extremely overwhelming if ignored for even a few seconds. But here's the real problem. Spells barely affect her. Fireball doesn't matter. Poison, it's useless. Unless you have lightning, dealing with her becomes a
Unless you have lightning, or even have a Evo Valkyrie, you would say.
nightmare. Supercell did
It becomes a night.
give her a nerf this season, but if I'm being real, I don't think it's enough. At number 8, We have the Battle Ram evolution, and this card has declined in popularity from the last season. It just couldn't keep up with the fast decks in the meta. Graveyard, Royal Hogs, and Lava Loon all countered the Brit Spam archetype. The Battle Ram evolution's use rates fell from 7 to 4% this month. It's still decent, but those numbers might further decline this month. At number 17, we have the Archer's evolution, and this card has one major weakness. It's glued to Expo decks. Inside that archetype, it's incredible. It melts tanks from long range and creates insane defensive value, but outside Expo, it struggles to exist. The evolved Archers are strong, but they're very, very niche. Coming in at number 16, we have the Furnace evolution.
Furnace is 16, that's great.
The evolved Furnace was annoying as heck last season. Graveyard decks were abusing it, and many players complained about this synergy. The recent buff definitely helped, and now the Furnace evolution sits at a 6% use rate in Clash Royale. Coming in at number 15, we have the Executioner evolution. If you position him correctly, entire pushes just collapse in front of him. Hog X Nado players abuse this constantly. Graveyard Freeze decks love him too. And with heroes becoming more popular, Executioner Evolution actually gained more relevance because he controls clustered pushes insanely well. It's high skill, high reward, and still one of the strongest defensive evolutions. Sliding into number 14, we have the Baby Dragon.
Oh wait, Baby Dragon's here. Oh, Baby Dragon. So which is at 18? This guy's at level 14.
Evolution. Despite a few nerfs, it is still a very strong card in Lava Loon, Golem, and Graveyard decks. Splash damage plus air survivability is always going to be valuable. However, you can't just slap it into random decks anymore and expect it to carry you. And honestly, that's good game balance. It's still reliable, still dangerous, just no longer completely you is always going to be valuable. However, you can't just slap it on decks. Splash damage plus air survivability is always going to be valuable. However, you can't just slap it into random decks anymore and expect it to carry you. And honestly, that's good game balance. It's still reliable, still dangerous, just no longer completely.
Yeah, with that I technically may not have to take a rage. I mean, imagine you just put this Evo Baby Dragon. You put Evo Baby Dragon pushing the balloon, and upon that you put rage. It's gotta be insanely fast. This rage that this Evo Baby Dragon is providing is only gonna increase the movement speed, not your hit speed. If it's also hit speed, it would have been something else. I think it was the scenario with the initial release.
Broken. At number 13,
they nerfed it, okay?
we have the Goblin Drill evolution. Oh my, the evolved Goblin Drill is finally not at the bottom of these rankings, and it's all thanks to the buff it got recently. Now, instead of 1, it spawns 2 goblins after it gets submerged for the second time. This is honestly a pretty good buff, and it's clear that the Goblin Drill is back now. It has a 6% use rate right now, with a 50% win rate. Those stats feel great, and we finally will see a meta in which the evolved Goblin Drill can be viable. Crashing into number 12, we have the Wall Breakers evolution, a card that still feels illegal even after multiple nerfs. Crashing into number 12.
How can wait? Wall Breakers was somewhere on top 5, but now it's dropped to top 12. Either because there are many good cards at the top 11. That's why it's 12. Or whatever.
Have the Wall Breakers evolution, a card that still feels illegal even after multiple nerfs. The reason is simple. They only cost 2 elixir, but they force the most awkward defenses imaginable. There's almost no consistent positive trade against them. Ignore them, you lose half your tower, and if you over-defend, you get into a negative elixir trade. And that's exactly why they remain one of the strongest evolutions in Clash Royale. At number 11, we have the Cannon evolution. It's the most consistent defensive building in Clash Royale. Even after multiple nerfs, this thing refuses to fall out to the meta. And honestly, that tells you everything. It's cheap, it's flexible, it fits into Hog Cycle, Log Bait, Royal Hogs, Miner Control, basically anywhere you need efficient defense. It may not feel broken anymore, but it never feels weak either. At number 10, we have the Valkyrie evolution. She's an absolute defensive monster. Splash damage, solid HP, reliable ground control, she has it all. That's why she has an insane 13% use rate in Clash Royale. A major reason why we're seeing such a high use rate for the evolved Valkyrie is because she hard counters the Royal Hogs. That archetype is everywhere, and
she hard counters pretty much anybody and everybody. It is a tornado that it is a tornado pull strength. That's what makes that's what makes the Evo pretty valuable. It is like it must be easy to pull. You guessed it right. The light troops, but for the heavy troops, it must be like you guessed it right. Like it should be less feasible. In the sense like light troops, okay, it could pull easily and it will destroy them, but heavy troops, it shouldn't pull that much as much it is doing right now.
evolved Valkyrie
It's just that the pull strength kind of needs a bit of a nerf.
Is the most reliable.
Else, yeah, I mean, if a golem can be pulled like this, then obviously something's wrong with the tornado. The tornado is a bit too powerful to pull heavier units.
Counter to it. She's also the major reason why Lava Loon decks were so dominant in the last meta.
Yep, I think I may go for the baby dragon.
At number 9, Royal Giant Evolution. A card
Oh man, I don't have the Royal Shiny.
that's dominated the meta for months, and honestly, for good reason. The knockback mechanic adds insane defensive utility. It melts swarm defenses, forces heavy responses, and pairs perfectly with lightning or fisherman support. Almost every competitive Royal Giant deck runs this evolution, and the biggest strength? Consistency. It rarely feels bad to use. It rarely gets hard countered, and when played properly, it's incredibly difficult to defend. At number 8, we have the Inferno Dragon Evolution. Against tanks, this thing is an absolute nightmare. If your opponent misplaces a card, their entire push disappears instantly. Graveyard Freeze, Lumberloon Freeze, and Lava Loon players love this evolution because it forces panic responses. The Inferno Dragon Evolution has a massive 11% use rate because it counters some of the most
I love this game.
popular archetypes. Giant, Lava Hound, and even Royal Hogs get countered by this card, and this is exactly why it's a much loved card amongst the pros. Next up at number 7, we have the Tesla Evolution. There was a time when people questioned whether Tesla even needed an evolution, but now it's proving why it deserves this spot. You're getting stun, reset, pulse/damage, and the underground mechanic all
Did you just say splash damage?
packed into spot. You're getting stun, reset, pulse/damage, and the underground mechanic all packed into one defensive building. That's a ridiculous value for a single. And the underground mechanic all packed into one defensive building. That's a ridiculous value for a single slot. It shuts down some of the strongest evolutions in the game and fits into a crazy number of decks. Cycle decks love
Yeah, it's slash. It's not splash. Okay. If I would have heard splash, right, I would go crazy, man.
it. Big decks love it. Even control decks are starting to experiment with it. If you want reliable defense that always provides value, Tesla Evolution is easily one of the safest choice in the entire game right now. At number 6, we have the Skeleton Army Evolution, and even after a major nerf, safest choice in the entire game right now. At number 6, we have the Skeleton Army
What? Skeleton Army number 6? Damn.
Evolution, and even after a major nerf, this card is still ridiculous. Right now, it's used mostly to bait out spells for other cards like the Skeleton Barrel or the Wall Breakers. Therefore, it synergizes
Yeah.
really well with almost every bait deck and forces extremely specific counters. And if your opponent doesn't have those counters ready, the game is basically over in seconds. At number 5, we have the Royal Hogs Evolution. This card is honestly terrifying right now. The flying mechanic combined with landing damage makes defending them feel awkward and uncomfortable.
So I would see, like if I go with the Evo Skeletons or the Evo Baby Dragon. The Baby Dragon, I have a high possibility of going because I'm in love with the Balloon Freeze Jacks. And add an Evo Baby Dragon onto the mix. It's gonna be incredible. But I'm also not discounting the idea of getting the Evo Skeletons. But I anticipate that the
The
Evo
other signs which can tell you whether you're good or bad at Clash Royale. To find out about them, click on this video.
Oh, thank goodness.
Pair them with Earthquake, and buildings basically stop existing. Very few defensive cards can fully stop this push without losing Elixir, and because Royal Hogs apply dual lane pressure so naturally, they constantly force mistakes. This evolution is easily one of the strongest offensive evolutions in the entire game right now. At number 4, we have the extremely useful Zap Evolution. This card is just straight up unfair for 2 Elixir. It deletes Firecracker, Archers, Dart Goblins, Princess, resets pushes, supports offense, supports defense, and literally fits into almost every single deck in the game. And if the insane 10% usage rate doesn't convince you, nothing will. This is easily one of the most valuable evolutions Clash Royale has ever released. At number 3, it's the Snowball Evolution. Its synergy with Goblin Drill, Balloon, and especially Giant Graveyard is absolutely disgusting. The knockback combined with slowdown almost guarantees extra hits every single time. And with an insane 8% usage rate, it's obvious players are abusing this evolution hard. It's cheap, it's annoying, and it's extremely difficult to punish when played correctly. Taking the number 2 spot, we have the Skeleton Barrel Evolution. This card is just annoying.
Yeah, this is the best card, I swear Lord.
Like crazy. Even after nerfs, it remains one of the hardest evolutions to defend consistently. It pairs perfectly with hyper bait decks, and even when you defend it properly, it still gets value through its absurd death damage. That guaranteed value makes it incredibly dangerous. One small defensive mistake. Absurd death damage. That guaranteed value makes it incredibly dangerous. One small defensive mistake. Absurd death damage.
Evo Skeletons. Okay, then you clone them. Evo Skeleton Barrels. skeleton battle, Evo skeleton battles, then you'd clone them. Wait, sorry.
damage. That guaranteed value makes it incredibly dangerous. One
Damn.
small
The death bombs. Just look at them blast.
defensive mistake, and your tower disappears instantly. It's aggressive, unpredictable,
Now put freeze on that and that's it, it's gone.
and insanely punishing. And at number 1, it's none other than the Royal Ghost
Wait, the Royal Ghost is back? Even after significant nerfs? That is amazing.
evolution. The damage output, spawn pressure, invisibility value, it all stacks up insanely well. It works in Bridge spam, Royal Giant, 3 Musketeers, P.E.K.K.A spam, basically everywhere, and with an absolutely ridiculous 19% usage rate. It is a must upgrade card in Clash Royale, but there are also 10 other cards you need to upgrade in 2026, which will instantly improve your progressions.
Yep, man. So I literally got my answer from this guy, Vlaxx. You can consider subscribing to him for more Clash Royale strategies. Plus, you can also consider like subscribing to my channel as well. So I think I literally got my answer. So it's gotta be among the two. It's gonna be B. See, it could be Skarmy or it could be Baby Dragon. Okay, so I got my answer from him. So it could either be Skarmy or it could be the Baby Dragon. It could be among these two who could get upgraded, depending on if I'm either using balloon or if I'm either using balloon or if I'm using the skeleton in general. Yeah. So let's head back into Clash Royale. I just forgot to show you one thing, by the way. Hey, so I'm back. So yeah, the reason I call you guys back into the game is I just want to also tell like what I've kind of upgraded meanwhile. I've upgraded the fireball to level 15. Okay. I've upgraded, you guessed it right, flying machine from level 12 to level 13, level 32, level 14. I've upgraded like 2 cards. One is the fire machine, and another actually could be another one, right? I just don't remember which is the second card. I think the second card I did upgrade before the flying machine. It could be yeah, like apart from a flying machine and a fireball. Yeah, I guess like these two cards were the ones I pretty much upgraded. I guess I might have pushed, you guessed it right. I might be pushing the minions though. You don't know. The P.E.K.K.A, right? No, is it? I don't exactly remember. I might have pushed the P.E.K.K.A from level 11 to level 12 as well. So yeah, I guess it was that much. So I'm clearly just 4,000 short from upgrading someone to the next level. Now I see she don't know who to actually even upgrade. So I mean, so I guess based on the decks I'll be comfortable. I'll be upgrading. Get it? And I also have to test which Evo I'm comfortable with. Either with the Skeleton King or with Baby Dragon. The Evo Baby Dragon. See, if I'm comfortable with the Evo Baby Dragon's rage, right? Speed up allies by 30%. If I'm very comfortable with Baby Dragon's Evo Baby Dragon's radius, wind rage, I will definitely go with the Evo Baby Dragon, okay, and use it with my balloon, which is right here, okay, or else I'll go with the Evo's Kami, but this time I'll have to buff this guy from here, okay. So if I might definitely buff either of these guys, Skarmy and this guy. And yeah, apart from these two, I'll try to buff the P.E.K.K.A as well to level 14, because I will be able to unlock this, the card mastery at level 14. I'll be able to get the extra gold. Okay, so that's why I'll be thinking of buffing the P.E.K.K.A after buffing up either the Rascals, this, and maybe these Kami. But first I'll have to choose which deck I'm gonna be comfortable with. Right now I'm comfortable with this Balloon Freeze deck, which you can see at the top. I'm comfortable with this Balloon Freeze deck. Okay? So I'll be adding Baby Dragon to the mix by substituting, you guessed it right, maybe the Wizard. And hey, if this really works well, then hey, I may consider getting the Evo Baby Dragon and then focus on upgrading the P.E.K.K.A. But if I'm also fine with the Skeleton Army and the Skeleton General, if I'm fine with the Skeleton Army and then the Evo Skeleton General, then I'll think of getting the Skeleton Army as well, and then get the Shard. I'll get the Evo Shard and preserve it for the next season, the season 81. Okay, so that's it. So I will literally conclude with my Clash Royale, with my session Clash Royale. It's been a pretty long one. I'll give the links to those videos in the description, by the way, that you just saw. So if you do love my Clash Royale analysis and which kind of decks to go with, which kind of Evos to prioritize building, then consider giving us a like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more Clash Royale content. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Meanwhile, I'll do a little bit of testing and I'll try to push towards 11,000. Okay, I'll try pushing towards 11,000 trophies, and hopefully, yes, I get the rewards along the way. Okay, hopefully I reach 11,000 trophies and I get to see you there. Okay, I'll try and keep pushing, and I'll try to say meet you somewhere at 11,000 if possible. Okay, if I reach 11,000 trophies, it'll be absolutely fantastic. Okay? I'll be getting a season closer to the 12,000 trophies, which is now, say, the minimum bench where the league kind of starts at. I had a wonderful time when the league was there at 10,500 trophies. But the moment it came to season 11, everything kinda got worse. But now I'm gonna be buffing up the low tier units as well, so that it complements with the high tier units. I'll try to prioritize more the 4 cycle, low average elixir cost, yeah, low average cycle as well. So then I'll take my leave. I'll see you in the next one. And thanks for watching, and stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.